when it comes to torrential downpour. Isn't that right?
That's right. You must turn off your gas and electricity and quickly evacuate from areas vulnerable to flash flooding.
What should we do if we are already outside?
Evacuate to a safe place, away from construction sites, underground spaces, and areas prone to frequent flooding. If you're driving, do not stop the car. Instead, slowly drive through the flooded area without stopping.
What should we do once the rain stops?
When going into buildings that have been submerged, do not touch electrical facilities and make sure to ventilate, as there is a risk of gas leakage.
We should also reduce preventable damages and prepare for disasters ahead of time by following safety guidelines.
That is correct. You can receive real-time safety information through the Disaster Safety Information mobile app, 안전 디딤돌.
Thank you for all the great information. Remember, your safety is everyone's safety. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산 영어방송.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
Last several days, one of the biggest headlines has been this, the detainment of Korean workers in Georgia. Well, they were due to be repatriated at 2:30 p.m. Wednesday local time, meaning at least leave from the U.S. from Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. However, the South Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs announced that there had been a delay in the planned departure, emphasizing that it was due to a cause from the U.S. side. And this obviously is making people nervous. Well, the good news is that reportedly, the new departure time has been set once again for 12 noon on the 11th local time. So as of broadcast time, that has been confirmed by either side, but that's what they're reportedly saying. I don't think people will be relieved until that plane lands in Korea. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Thursday, September 11th on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Morning Wavers, I hope you're all doing well. And I think we can agree on one thing. The weather has definitely taken a turn this past week with the mornings and evenings significantly cooler, a little breezier. But as the rest of the country is welcoming the end of summer, well, yeah, the beginning of fall as well, the residents in Gangneung are still desperately waiting for rain. So as of this morning, the water level at Gangneung's Obong Reservoir has fallen below 12%, with limited water supply across residences and businesses. So the immediate concern is this: getting water into the reservoir and into people's homes. And to that end, the city decided to temporarily take in water from the Doam Dam located in Pyeongchang to ease the drought. The city will form a committee to verify the water quality in the coming days and continue bringing in the water via the connected pipes until the drought is over. But the authorities are concerned about the potential long-term effects as we get closer to fall. When we get to fall, everything's kind of really dry. We worry about wildfires. So while spring is wildfire season officially here in South Korea, fall wildfires are also becoming more common. And this is because of the increase in outdoor activities with people smoking or cooking in forests. By the way, that's illegal. You're not supposed to do that. Or burning trash. So according to Gangwon Fire Headquarters, there is an average of 16 wildfires each year in Gangwon, burning 1.8 hectares of land each year. And here, dry, fallen leaves act as kindling. So a timely response is critical. There is rain forecast for this Saturday, but no major rain forecast for after that period for the entirety of the rest of September. So although not as bad as Gangneung, the entirety of the Yeongdong or Eastern Gangwon region is quite dry. It only has about 20% of the usual precipitation this year, the reports say. So there's not much we can do about the weather, but we can certainly, check our actions, check on what we're doing when we go outdoors to make sure that this, natural disaster, drought, doesn't transpire into a man-made disaster. So let's all be careful. All right, let's switch gears, talk about our text topic today. We are going to do a deep dive into K-culture. So what was your first or early day K-drama, K-film? Because nowadays, everybody talks about K-pop Demon Hunters. 너무 글로벌 히트인데요. 내 추억 속 오리지널 OG K-drama, K-film 뭐죠? Let's get those, go back, down memory lane and unfold what kind of, really got you into the K-culture with the K-films or K-dramas. So send in your opinions, your thoughts to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, the platform, to find our channel. Type in BEFM or Busan 영어 방송, and you can subscribe. You can log in and chat with our other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. Same thing there. To find us, type in BEFM or Busan 영어 방송. You can add us as a friend and then send your messages and photos too. The ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan. Like I said, we're streaming live on YouTube right now, but if you're in Busan, you can check us out on the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM, depending where you are in Busan. You can watch again on YouTube. You can also download the BEFM app or the Popbang app where our program is available. Looking ahead to today, we're going to have a fun day here on Morning Wave in Busan. So first up, in hour number 1, we have Ask Dr. Ryu with Dr. Ryu Sang-hyo. And by the way, I've been loving the whole idea of you texting in, asking questions, and Dr. Ryu assures me he loves answering your questions, right? And we also have Vasana for Buzz Breakdown. For our special interview, I don't know if you've missed our show in the past couple of days or maybe last week, but we have on deck, meaning scheduled, someone related with K-pop Demon Hunters, someone who was actually featured in that global phenomenon. That is coming up in hour number 2. I'm not going to tell you exactly who it is because I want you to tune in, but if you're curious, you're going to have to tune in for the entirety of the show, including hour number 2. I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:07, and this is News Overview. Foreign Minister vows swift rescue of South Koreans detained in Georgia. Foreign Minister Cho Hyun met with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and requested him to let the detained Koreans depart quickly and without physical restraints. South Koreans will reportedly depart from the U.S. at noon Thursday, local time. Ten injured in explosion at Army base in Paju. 10 soldiers were injured when a practical shell exploded during a training at an Army base in Paju yesterday afternoon during artillery drills without live ammunition. Privacy regulator launches probe over KT and LGU+. The Personal Information Protection Commission, or PIPC, announced that it has launched a probe into KT and LGU+ over possible customer data leaks following a series of unauthorized mobile micropayments of KT users. South Korean stocks reach record high. The country's stock market closed at an all-time high yesterday, led by market gains in the tech sector and optimism over the administration's possible tax policy change. NATO allies weigh response after Russia's drone attacks on Poland. Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk said that the country is closer to military conflict than at any time since World War II, as NATO allies consider how to respond to Russia's drone incursion into Polish airspace. This was News Overview. It's time for Now in Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. So before we dive into some local news, I do want to get your take. What was your first or one of your early day K-dramas, K-films that kind of got you this is so good?
Yeah, I got an answer. While you're at it, I look into the English name of this drama.
Okay.
It's called 꽃보다 남자 in Korean and Boys Over Flowers in English. And there are 4 guys and there's one guy who's play violins, and I always huge advocate and huge fan of him. I'm gonna get married
with him. One of the characters. Yeah. All I remember is the guy with Imino, I think that's the actor's name, but with the really, really curly hair. It was 구준표 or something like that. And I was just like, he has some awfully curly hair. But yes, that was a huge hit, of course, here in Korea and globally as well. So thanks for sharing. We're going to jump into our first story. And this is about a retrial here in Busan that goes back more than 60 years. So let's hear the story.
Yes, on the 10th, the Busan District Court ruled it 최말자 not guilty of the charges. Judge Kim Hyun-sun stated there's an insufficient evidence to acknowledge the charge of serious injury. The defendant's actions are recognized as legitimate self-defense.
Oh, so some people might recognize this person's name or the case, but we need details, and we're going to go way, way back. So when did this first happen, this incident?
So back in 1964, at the age of 18, she had bitten off a piece of a man's tongue as he attempted to sexually assault her. So she was sentenced to 10 months in prison, suspended for 2 years, but her plea of self-defense was rejected at the time.
Right, and that itself is but then what about the attacker?
The man, on the other hand, faced much lighter consequences. He wasn't charged with attempted rape, just special intrusion upon human habitation, 특별 주거 침입, and intimidation, 특수 협박, and got a 6-month sentence, suspended for 2 years.
So let that sink in. So the attacker got a lighter sentence than the person that was being attacked, right? So what brought this back into the spotlight after all these years?
In May 2020, 56 years after the incident, Choi filed for retrial. However, both the Busan District Court and the Busan High Court dismissed her request, stating there was no evidence to support her claim that prosecutors have illegally detained her and forced a confession. Then the Supreme Court, after more than 3 years of review, had a second look and a bit of re-examination.
Okay.
They found there were sufficient indications that her claims were credible.
Yes.
And reversed and remanded the case.
Right. So what about this time, the prosecution's stance?
Then in the retrial hearing this July, the prosecutors themselves argued for her innocence.
Yes.
They stated, and I quote, "The prosecution has reached the conclusion that the act in question was a legitimate act of self-defense by a sexual assault victim and thus unlawful." They added the role of prosecution is to protect crime victims not only from the crime itself, but also from social prejudice and secondary harm.
Right.
In the past, however, the prosecution failed to fulfill that role and in fact acted in the opposite direction.
So that was the statement itself, right?
Yes.
Well, I have to say many people very relieved that justice has finally come for 최말자. The fact that she really fought for years and years. What an amazing story, right?
Yeah, and in court, prosecution referred to Che not as a defendant, spot as a Miss 최말자 and apologize for her immeasurable pain and suffering.
Right, right. So, justice delayed, but at least justice has been served finally. So she is no longer guilty of this crime. All right, let's move on and talk about Busan planning something big for the 금련산 Youth Training Institute. What's happening?
Yeah, Busan City has just kicked off a big plan to breathe a new life into 금련산 Youth Training Institute. The buildings are pretty worn out, so the city wants to turn it into a safer, more modern space for young people.
So let's hear about the scale of the project.
The project valued at about 90 billion won. They run design contest in 2028, break ground in 2030, and finish by 2032. In the meantime, the study will run until August 2026. And once that's done, they will move on to financial review.
Yes. And this center itself, the training, it's been around for quite a while, right?
Yeah, for years, this center has been go-to spot for local kids, whether for learning, activities, or just relaxing. But the facilities are outdated, and today's young people have very different needs.
Yes.
So a big change really makes sense.
Right. So we will see the changes in the years to come. Next, let's talk about some news about jobs here in Busan. Something about a drop in employment?
Yes, the latest from Busan's job market. In August, the number of people employed in Busan dropped by 6,000 compared to the same time last year. That's the first time in 6 months that we have seen a year-on-year decline. Dongnam Regional Statistics Office reports that 1.693 million people aged 15 or and up were employed in Busan last month. That's down 0.4% from August 2024. And interestingly, employment had been a bit of roller coaster. Like down for 3 months from last December to February, then up for 5 months from March to July, and then dipping again in August.
So how did all of this play out across the different industries?
Well, the impact kind of varied across the sectors. For instance, manufacturing actually saw 5.7% increase. But construction took a big hit, down 15,000 jobs, nearly 12% less than a year ago. Retail, accommodation, and restaurants also slide by 3.9%.
Yes. And what about small business owners?
The number of self-employed individuals also dropped by nearly 10% compared to August last year, which shows the domestic market is still sluggish. And the population aged 15 and over, and the economically active population both decreased by 0.4%.
Oh, so it does sound a little bit worrisome, to be honest. But was there any positive news?
A bit. The employment rate edged up slightly to 58.3% and up 0.1 point. While the unemployment rate decreased to 2.1%, that's down 0.1 point.
I see. So a bit of a mixed bag. So yes, that's the status of what's happening in employment here in Busan. All right, next, Busan City has sent this special diplomacy team this month. So what's it about? Where'd they go?
Yes, 2025 Eurasia City Diplomacy Corps just kicked off this journey from the 10th yesterday and will be running through to the 25th.
Yes. And so what exactly is this whole Eurasia City Diplomacy Corps? What is it about?
It's a diplomacy project called Citizen Participation Style, led by local citizens and institutions. This year, they will be holding 35 events across 5 cities, including 4 sister cities and 1 key exchange hub. Spreading the word about Busan and strengthening city-to-city ties.
Yes, so let's talk about the cities. Which cities are on the list?
They're heading to 5 cities, including Beijing, Ulaanbaatar, Almaty, Istanbul, and Berlin. In Beijing, they will run a business consultation and networking event to help local companies to go global. And Ulaanbaatar is about education and environment with a study abroad info session and upgrades for kindergartens.
Yes.
Next stop is Almaty, where they'll host a future strategy seminar and a culture exchange evening. Then in Istanbul, they will host a ceremony to thank Korean War veterans on the UN 18th anniversary, spreading the message of peace and deepening bond with broader nation.
Okay.
Finally, in Berlin, the spotlight is on Busan, sharing its rich history, vibrant culture, and city brand with a global audience.
So it's quite a journey. And for our listeners, you can tune into the live coverage of this entire trip of the core there on For Your Busan. So you're going to have to tune in to find out more. So thank you for all the local news, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Sajin.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to your traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It's time for your traffic report. First up, let's talk about the Gwangan Bridge. That top portion, not surprisingly, it's congested right now. Also, on the Dongso overpass, there's backup from the Pyeongnaekgo ramp to the old Kaegum toll gate. There is traffic on Pyeongnaekgo going away from the city right around the Wondong ramp. It's also looking slow from the Manduk intersection to Nama Expressway, the Kupo Nakdonggang Bridge. Currently, it is 24 degrees Celsius. It's sunny. It's looking nice. The daytime high will go up to 29, so a tad bit warmer than yesterday. Across the nation, it looks clear. There is some cloud coverage across eastern Gangwon, Jeonnam, and Gyeongnam regions, and Jeju is expected to see some rain. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for top stories. We have Haley in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Don't you love that every time the camera turns on, it's like so automatic.
Yeah,
We start like touching your hair.
What's with my hair? Okay.
Because it's like a mirror. Like we don't know what we look like until the camera. Yes. It's not that we're that vain. It's just like a natural.
I might be.
A little. Okay. Well, let's talk about the text topic. K-culture.
All right. I wonder if any of our listeners know this. I'm going to date myself. Maya? No one? No, all right. Crickets. Okay.
Is that from 여인천하?
Yeah.
Or is that what it's called?
No, you're right.
But I haven't seen it, but I've seen the memes of that.
This is like a meme before memes were actually a thing.
But you can't. You're so pleasant looking. Don't you have to be like mean? Like
yeah. I missed it. I kind of do. Well, there was a period of period dramas, like in the epic sagas. Those are fun. Those are fun, like your 용의 눈물 and your 여인천하, your 대장금.
Oh, those are too difficult for me. Like for me, my level is like 성균관 scandal, like you know,
like modernized fusion.
Yes, yeah, that's the level of my
interesting.
my Korean.
Interesting.
No, because sometimes they're so intricate, the plots,
right?
And even though sometimes they have descriptions of like historically what's going on. Like,
a lot of them are in
quickly.
Chinese characters, and
exactly.
I'm like, how does this help anyone? Does it? I mean, not me, right?
Yes. So we're gonna get serious because we're for first story. We're gonna talk about the detention of the South Koreans in Georgia and what's been going on. And then there's a delayed departure. What is going on?
We were hoping that today would be the last day we'd be reporting on this, but that is not happening because at least according to the initial plans, that plane should already be up in the air. But no. So the South Koreans detained in Georgia right now, about 300 of them, were supposed to get on a Korean Air chartered flight and leave at 2:30 p.m. Wednesday local time from Atlanta. This would have been about 4 hours ago. Instead, now we're getting reports that the flight will depart at noon Thursday local time, citing sources with knowledge into the matter. So the detained South Koreans will take charter buses from the detention facility to Atlanta International Airport early Thursday morning. According to the Foreign Ministry, the release was suddenly delayed, and the official said that the planned departure was made, quote-unquote, difficult due to a situation from the U.S. end, and that they're closely cooperating with the U.S. for a quick departure. And Foreign Minister Cho Hyun earlier said that he was not in a position to speak about what that exact situation was, at least at this time.
Right. And as I mentioned briefly in the news, the foreign minister did meet with the U.S. Secretary of State.
He did. So South Korea's foreign ministry issued a statement saying that Cho Hyun expressed concerns over this entire matter and asked that the South Korean detainees not be in handcuffs or any other physical restraints when they leave the ICE detention center, to which, at least according to the statement, the U.S. responded positively.
Yes.
Interestingly, though, the U.S. State Department also issued a press release which made no mention of this. Instead, that press release focused on discussions over South Korea's investments to the United States, strengthening deterrence in the Indo-Pacific together, expanding a fair defense cost share burden, and the shipbuilding industry.
Right. You know, Leslie points out something interesting, that there's been a lot going on in the U.S., including Charlie Kirk. He was shot and killed right around that time as well. We don't know for sure if there's any connection, but it's been a heavy news day as well. So we don't want to, feed into the rumors or innuendos. We have no idea what the reason was. When we do find out, if we do, we'll relay that to our listeners. All right, let's move on. We're going to talk about the fact that today marks the 100th day since the new Lee Jae-myung administration came into office. So we're going to take a look back at the first 100 days.
Right, so it's been a rapid fire of political events from late last year to June of this year. Of course, we all remember December 3rd when then President Yoon Suk-yeol declared martial law.
Yes.
And then about 11 days later, on December 14th, the National Assembly passed the impeachment motion. Fast forward 4 months to April 4th when the Constitutional Court approved that motion, confirming impeachment and removing him from office.
Right.
And then a very quick 2-month campaign period leading to the presidential election, and Lee Jae-myung starting his term on the following day, the 4th of June. So according to an official from the ruling party who assessed the situation, this initial 100-day period, and this is usually considered when an administration really pushes its administrative agenda. Well, this was more focused on normalizing governance and the country overall,
right,
with the initial focus being the economy and the people's livelihood under the administration's slogan of recovery and growth. So to that end, President Lee Jae-myung's first executive order, 행정명령, was an emergency economic task force, and then which led to the round 1 of consumption recovery coupons.
Indeed. And so the presidents also, they send messages via their personnel appointments. So
right. So during the first 100 days and the transition period, which did not happen for this administration,
yes,
whom they appoint or nominate as ministers and presidential secretaries, they can really send a message about where their policy directives are headed. So there were a couple surprises. For instance, Lee Jae-myung named the first civilian defense minister, An Gyu-baek, to reform the military. So that was a very strong reform initiative. His employment and labor minister appointment was very pro-labor, Kim Young-un being the first ever minister from the Korean Confederation of Trade Unions. He was actually working as a conductor for Korail when he was named the minister or appointed. This message was clear. It's going to be focused on pragmatism and practicality. There are also setbacks as well, with Civil Affairs Secretary Oh Kwang-soo resigning, Kang Seon-woo, the Gender Equality and Family Minister nominee, and Education nominee Lee Jin-suk resigning or failing from the confirmation system due to personal scandals.
That's right. Another key area, though, was diplomacy.
Right, so that was one of the top tasks, trade negotiations with the Trump administration. So most pundits on this front say that the government pull through. It was fairly, at least stable for now. Officials talked down the tariffs from the initial 25% to 15%, 2 days before the Trump administration's reciprocal tariffs were to take place. And that was in exchange for some 350 billion won in investment. Details are actually still being worked out as we speak.
Sure.
And then the first summit, there were some concerns with President Donald Trump. Also went better than expected. At least it was fairly normal. It was fairly average.
Right.
And Lee Jae-myung restored shuttle diplomacy with Japan. However, what lies ahead, of course, we can expect a lot of the questions today in the press conference that'll come to be focused on well, what's going on in Georgia right now.
Yes.
And also with Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru resigning, who will head Japan will be of great importance here as well.
So we took a look back on the first 100 days. So what lies ahead starting from day 101?
Right. So reform drives are currently starting up. And the first task is to fine-tune the message with the Democratic Party. The DP, under its new leader, Chung Chong-rae, has taken a much more, some might say proactive, others might say aggressive tone with especially prosecutorial reform.
Yes.
So friction with the opposition over the special counsel investigations will also be key. North Korea continues to be not only unresponsive, but rather hostile while forming closer bonds with China and Russia.
Right.
So on that front, the next major task will be the APEC summit in Gyeongju, late October to early November. And the government will really need to bring its A game, so to speak.
Yes.
President Lee Jae-myung, as I alluded to, will hold a 90-minute press conference later today under the slogan 100 Days for Recovery, Growth for the Future to mark this milestone. This, by the way, is the second press conference. He held one on his day 30 in office. And this is the first time that the president is holding two of these major press conferences in a 100-day period. And the presidential office said that this reflects President Lee Jae-myung's strong willingness to boost communication.
I see. So let's see what lies ahead for the next 100 days. Up next, let's talk about that. Sushi, or early college admissions. Application season is open, and I see that you have brought some statistics, some numbers about college attendance in South Korea.
Right, so this should come as a surprise to no one, but South Korea has the highest college entrance rate out of all OECD countries. But that gap, the wage gap between those who graduated colleges, grad school to high school education is widening. So this is according to the Ministry of Education, which analyzed the OECD education indicators for this year among not only the 38 OECD member nations, but also 11 non-member countries.
Okay.
So let's look at the OECD average first. The average college entrance rate for adults of all OECD countries was 41.9%.
Okay.
It was far under 50%. But for South Korea, this again is for all ages, 25 to 64 age group, this rate was 56.2%. So when we're looking at the bulk of the adult population, well over half of them at least were accepted into colleges.
Yes.
But then when we zoom into younger people, 25 to 34 group, 70.6% attended colleges. And this is, of course, number one place, the only OECD nation to exceed the 70% mark.
Yes.
Second place was Canada and third place was Ireland. And by the way, South Korea has been in first place for college entrance rate for the past 17 years.
Wow. Okay. Well, you mentioned that the wage gap, though, among college versus non-college graduates, excuse me, has been widening. And when we say college, that that means university. Yes.
Right. Well, actually, two-year colleges
Yes,
as
as well.
But according to data from 2023, so if we set the wage of an average wage of high school graduates at 100,
Yes.
a person who graduated from vocational or two-year college, that figure went to 109.9.
Okay.
Four-year university, 132.5, and graduate school, 176.3. This gap is actually smaller compared to the OECD average, where the gap between a high school graduate set at 100 jumps to 182.5 for graduate school graduates.
I see. Well, staying on the topic of education, can we talk about, elite high schools? Because, at least for the past several years or years ago, talk of the town.
Right.
But not so much so.
Not quite. So
Yes.
we're going to move on from universities to elite high schools. Because if you remember, once upon a time, science high school, 과학고, like the smartest
Yes.
kids in your middle school went to 과학고, right?
Yes.
Not quite. This trend has declined by the biggest margin in the past 4 years.
Okay.
So this is according to data from 종로학원 for admissions for the 2026 academic year, so next year. Across 20 science high schools, the competition ratio sits at 3.41 for every spot available. This is down from 3.5 back in 2023. And the sheer number of applicants to these science high schools dropped from 5,739 in 2023 to 5,602 for next year.
Okay.
Competition for gifted and talented schools, 영재학교, also declined significantly. So as to why? Well, where are they going, or where are these really smart natural sciences students planning on going? Well, medical school.
Right.
Again, not surprising to anyone. Because here's the thing. For gifted schools and science high schools, the goal is that this fosters talent in basic sciences.
Yes.
So therefore, they have low to almost free tuition or other forms of scholarships. So if graduates of these high schools advance onto medical schools, they actually face penalties. They basically have to cough up what they received in terms of scholarships and free tuition. So because planning for medical schools for some students start, as early as elementary school, one could argue, or like pre-elementary school.
Yes.
So, parents are kind of taking the route of, well, we're not going to go that route. And actually, there are some medical schools that don't even accept graduates from these high schools from the get-go.
So, hence the drop in the numbers. All right. For our final story, we're going to go to Nepal. There's been a lot going on. Anti-government protests, they have turned fatal.
Extremely violent anti-government protests going on from both ends. So Nepal is going through what pundits are calling the worst political unrest in decades. At least 22 people dead in police clashes with anti-corruption protesters.
Yes.
And at least 500 people are believed to have been injured in 2 days on to day 3 of protests, as police have been using tear gas, water cannons, and even live bullets.
Okay, so we got to go to the beginning. What triggered these protests?
Right, so these protests are now being called Gen Z protests, and that's because the government last week decided to ban 26 social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. And that the reason was that these platforms failed to meet a deadline to register with the Communications Ministry.
Right.
Here's the thing about Nepal. It has one of the highest social media usage rates in South Asia. And the thing is, it's not just for entertainment. Hashtags like hashtag Nepo baby has been trending, pointing to corruption within the country's political elite and the unfair opportunities that their children receive. So it's not just about the ban itself, underlaid with dissatisfaction with the authorities and perceived corruption and stagnant economic growth. So here's the thing. On day 1, police fired live bullets into crowds. And then day 2, crowds set fire to the parliament.
Yes.
They attacked houses of politicians and government buildings. The wife of a former prime minister also died from burns from these attacks, according to reports.
Okay.
So amidst all of this turmoil, the prime minister, KP Sharma Oli, has resigned.
Yes. So you just mentioned how the prime minister has, stepped down. What happens next, though?
So here's the thing. Because so many politicians have either resigned or they're kind of in hiding or under protection,
Yes.
it's not really clear who's in charge or who will replace him. The army has taken to patrolling the streets. So far, protesters have not really spelt out their exact demands, apart from the anti-corruption call. So the Gen Z group spearheading the protests, they've distanced themselves from the violence and destruction, saying that their agenda has been hijacked by opportunists.
I see. So once again, a lot of turmoil going on in Nepal. Thanks for reporting on that story, plus all the stories. And we'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
Thank you.
And now, let's talk about Souvenir, because he sent in a message. And 제가 이거 잘 못 살릴 것 같아요. 뭔지, okay. 봄날은 간다. 어떻게 사랑이 변하니? So just for you, 봄날은 간다 by 김유나. I apologize. We'll be back in a moment.
아직까지도 마음이 저
BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan. What does it mean to live in an English-friendly Busan? And what role does English play as Busan rises as a global hub city?
올 가을 여러분에게 영어하기 편한 도시 부산으로 가는 길을 안내합니다.
This fall, on September 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m., join us for a special outdoor stage event at F1963 Open Square, featuring a thought-provoking panel with a professional English educator, Lee Bo-young, British broadcaster Peter Bint, K-pop idol Aaron, and me, Catherine. Plus, enjoy a special live performance by Busan's English-friendly city ambassador Kim Jo-han and singer-songwriter 커피 소년. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan.
9월 27일 토요일 오후 3시 F1963 오픈스퀘어에서 여러분을 기다립니다.
So as you just heard, I hope that you join us for this special outdoor stage event, 공개 방송. Just in case you missed it, it is Saturday, September 27th at 3 p.m. It's going to be at F1963-1963. I hope to see many of you there. All right, now we're going to get into Ask Dr. Ryu. It's time for Ask Dr. Ryu. He is here in the flesh. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. You know what today is? Today is my daddy's birthday.
Oh, really?
Yes. Hey, Daddy, happy birthday to you. Because when I was fifth grade, they got divorced, and then it was not long ago that I decided to, made a reconciliation with my daddy.
Really?
So maybe 10 years ago. So after giving birth to my son, I get to understand my daddy. So anyhow,
you reconnected with
him.
him.
We're connected. Yeah, I give a call every week.
Oh.
So and then my parents, they're friends, good friends, although they live separately.
친구지만 따로 사는 거.
Yeah. But some kind of a family get-together meeting. We always get together.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have to be like we're mortal enemies, yeah?
No.
That you can have a healthy relationship.
That's right.
Post-divorce. Yes.
That's right.
All
Okay.
right. I do want to ask you.
Yes.
Like back in the day, Dr. 드라마 보셨어요? 안 보셨을 것 같아요. 공부만 하셨을 것 같아요.
When I get home, my wife sometimes TV's turned on by my wife, and then she watches some kind of K drama, and then I got to watch it. I couldn't help it. But one day I saw this series, so after that I was really into that one, which is
one?
추노.
추노. Is it with 장혁?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
My roommate was really into that one too.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't really into it, but like religiously he watched it, and he doesn't watch dramas either. Maybe it's a guy thing. I don't know.
But I'm such a tearjerker victim. So I saw at the last episode, it made really my eyes ball my eyes out. Yeah. My eyes are big, so there's a saying that if you have big eyes, you're likely to 눈물이 많다.
I wish we could talk about K-drama for 20 minutes, but we got to get into your segment. So what do you have for us?
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Yeah.
This was brought up actually. I think last week somebody asked about that, right?
That's right.
We mentioned it in passing. So what exactly is vitamin D?
비타민 D는요.
네.
지방의 비타민이에요. It's a fat-soluble vitamin.
Okay. What does that mean?
Have you tried multivitamin pills, and then after peeing, you could see your urine color is very, very yellow and bright?
Yes.
Yeah, those are water soluble.
Okay.
So once you take it, it washes away just right after, maybe in a couple of hours. Well, fat soluble means these vitamins are made of kind of fat ingredients. That's why it deposits in our body fat area. So in order to replenish it, it takes about 6 or 7 months.
Yes.
So those vitamins are including vitamin A, D, E, K.
A, D, E, K.
Yeah, fat soluble. So one tip for you to take this vitamin, these kinds of vitamin pills is take it after having meal.
Ah, okay. Now that we know like the very basics,
Yeah,
right?
very basics.
Right. So there are so many myths out there about vitamin D, and then like about things like, you know, where it comes from. Like, let me tell you the very little bit of vitamin D knowledge that I think I know. It's like people say like, oh, sunlight. Sunlight is good for you, right?
That's right.
And then you did mention like put sun cream on your face, but then, you know, with your arms, maybe let the sun, like, you know.
That's right.
Is that okay? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct because our face is very important. So we have to cover our face as much as possible.
Okay.
To impede the process of getting wrinkling and then getting saggy skins.
Yes.
But other parts of body, those are plants for producing vitamin D. Yeah. So, you know, let me give you some kind of myths.
Yes.
Just diet is enough for vitamin D. Is it true or false?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay, it's actually false. Because 80 to 90% of vitamin D usually comes from sun exposure. Food alone rarely provides enough
of the vitamin D.
Yes.
Yes,
right.
and then so I recently went to a doctor and I got a shot of my butt because I took a blood test and they said, you know, you're very low, deficient, very extremely deficient in vitamin D. But can you take a supplement or is an injection the best way to go?
Sometimes when the vitamin D level is so low, in that case, vitamin shot is recommended.
Okay.
But if you have just some kind of vitamin a little lower than the average or lower than the standard, taking vitamin pill, that would suffice.
Okay.
Yeah, but I told you, sun exposure takes about 90% of all the vitamin components in our body. So taking vitamin pills is just minimal, but it wouldn't hurt to try. And also, it's the best safe bet.
Okay. How about this myth? You know, darker skin, if you have a darker complexion, that you might produce more vitamin D. I don't know. Is that true?
Oh, actually, it's false.
Okay, so it doesn't matter the pigment, how dark or fair you are?
Yeah, it matters.
It matters?
Yeah, it matters. Darker skin, it's the opposite. Actually, whiter or the kind of pale skin makes more vitamin D.
Oh, it's the opposite.
Yeah, that's the opposite. Because the darker skin contains more melanin. Melanin is a pigment that makes our skin darker. And that works like a natural sunblock. That's why darker skins, white Caucasians are likely to have skin cancer because they don't have kind of a barrier system.
I see. Yes.
Yeah. But not only that, it blocks sun UV damage, which means the darker skin cannot absorb UV as much as white skins do. So that's why UV ray can get blocked.
Yes.
That's why darker skins makes less vitamin D.
Yes, so we have a question for you. So Taejin, he wants to know, Dr. Ju님, 비타민 D는 모든 연령한테 필수일 텐데 특히 더 중요한 연령대가 있을까요? So in English, basically, vitamin D, everybody, probably needs it. But is there like a particular age group where it might be more important?
Oh, all the age group need vitamin D.
Okay.
Because scientific findings are still revealing how important our vitamin D is. Because recently I read an article that when you are deficient during pregnancy, you're likely to give birth to a child that's likely to have some psychiatric problems, and also all kinds of cancers are related to vitamin D deficiency, especially breast cancer. If you have lower vitamin D, you're likely to develop breast cancer. So every August 19th is the Breast Cancer Awareness Day.
Yes.
And then the Breast Cancer Association declared that most important vitamin is vitamin D. That's very very crucial. And so it's not only that as a neurologist, a lot of neurological problems are linked, closely linked. Mental health issues and dementia and other Parkinson's disease and all kinds of disease. It's not only just a simple thing. It works like a hormone. I can talk about it 24/7. Tons of things.
I know. I can tell you're very excited and passionate about it. We have another question for you. Gigi asks this question: what time is the best time, like during the day, to get your vitamin D? Whether it's like, if it's like, sunshine, is there a particular time of day? Is it just when it's high noon, when there's a lot of sunlight? Or is there a particular day where it's better to kind of absorb the vitamin D, or no? Okay.
Actually, I haven't looked it up on my medical journals. But as far as I know, here in Korea, we have 4 seasons.
Yes.
So during hot summer season, these days, the air is pretty cool a little bit.
Yeah, it is cool down.
Yeah, cool down. But during summer peak season, the heat wave warnings are issued. In that case, I wanted to get yourself exposed to sunlight maybe after 4 p.m. or early in the morning from 7 to 9 a.m. in the morning. For about 40 minutes. Yeah, but during winter season, it's just maybe 2 p.m. something like that.
Right.
So for about approximately 30 minutes.
30 to 40 minutes.
30 to 40 minutes. That would suffice.
There's so many questions today. But I think you can address some of them. We have one more that I do want to ask. Leslie asks, is it true that taking vitamin K with vitamin D helps the body absorb vitamin D
that's right.
better? It is true?
Yeah, because those are fat soluble.
You just said in the beginning.
Lipophilic, ADEK.
Okay, ADEK.
Yeah, ADEK, ADEK.
Oh my gosh, we need another segment. Maybe we can do a part 2. I don't know, but we're already out of time, if you can believe.
Okay.
Because people, they're so fascinated. We've never had these many questions about vitamin, anything. They're so interested in it. So people are actually thanking you, Dr. Du, for always coming on air with us and giving us such really valuable and helpful, real medical information.
Okay, thank you. Because we live in a flood of very information. Sometimes misinformation, we become victims of those misinformation. So nutrition supplements are a good example. That's why I want to talk about this one. So me talking about this helps you a lot of audience and listeners for the future health. And also, we are supposed to be naked when we were on Earth, as in the Garden of Eden. But these days, a lot of people are living in the kind of indoor activities and then blocking, using umbrellas. Sometimes, let's get to our basic. Be natural.
Get naked?
Yeah, sometimes get naked.
Okay, not walking the streets. But thank you for all the good information, and we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Dr. Du.
Okay, thank you.
All right, it's time to wrap up hour number 1. This is Vitamin by Park Hak-ki. Enjoy. I'll be back at 8.
처음 너를 만나던 그날 설레던 5월의 아침 아카시아 달콤한 향기 부드러운 바람 우릴 감싸주고 함께 걸어왔던 시간들 그림 같은 예쁜 날들 여우비 내리던 여름 하늘을 구르던 너의 웃음처럼 너는 나의 사랑 너는 나의 요정 온 세상 눈부신 향기를 뿌리고 너는 나의 노래 너는 나의 햇살 넌 나의 비타
부산 영어방송.
기업체 사장님들 아직도 직영으로 식당 운영하고 계십니까? 위탁급식과 도시락 전문 기업 더 좋은 푸드에 맡겨보십시오. 운영비 절감 효과 확실합니다. 식대는 협의 후 맞춰드립니다. 지역 부산 경남 문의 전화 051-784-0877.
랜드로버의 모든 것이 한 곳에 전시장과 서비스 센터가 만나 랜드로버 부산 센텀 컴플렉스 센터로 더 새로워졌습니다. 신차 상담에서 애프터 서비스까지 원스톱 서비스를 만나다. 랜드로버 공식 리테일러 HS 효성 프리미어 모터스.
출근길 아이 걱정을 내려놓을 수 있다는 것, 그건 어쩌면 가장 큰 위로였습니다. 돌봄 서비스를 받은 후 부모님의 얼굴엔 다시 웃음이 피었습니다. 외로움에 익숙했던 청년에게 괜찮아요라는 한마디가 희망이 되었습니다. 돌봄을 받는 이도 돌보는 이도 더 행복할 수 있도록 보이지 않는 곳까지 살피는 따뜻한 마음, 부산 시민 모두가 행복한 도시를 만듭니다. 이 캠페인은 부산 시민의 행복한 일상을 이끌어가는 부산 사회서비스원이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Welcome to Busan. Let me show you around. Here you can find the world's largest musical in-ground fountain and the world's only UN memorial cemetery. Stroll along the coast and explore the largest mountain fortress in Korea. As well as all this, there are so many tourist attractions, beautiful exhibitions, vibrant culture, convenient facilities, and delicious foods unique to Busan. With all the beauty and charm of the amazing city of Busan, you'll find yourself right at home in this ever-changing tourism paradise. So stay with us a while. Busan, your #1 tourist destination. Your home, away from home. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
It's now 8 o'clock. This is hour number 2 of Morning Wave in Busan, and this is Spotlight News. Foreign Minister vows swift rescue of South Koreans detained in Georgia. Foreign Minister Cho Hyun met with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and requested him to let the detained Koreans depart quickly and without physical restraints, adding he received a positive response from the U.S. And in breaking news just moments ago, Foreign Minister Cho Hyun, he has confirmed that the detained South Korean nationals will not be disadvantaged should they return to the U.S. Rubio said that President Donald Trump directed him to take swift action to reflect Seoul's wishes and said that he and Trump understood the sentiments of Koreans and the sensitivity on the matter, adding that Trump views South Korea's investments in the U.S. in a positive light. It's been reported that the once delayed charter flight to take the Korean detainees out of the U.S. has been scheduled to depart from Atlanta at noon on Thursday local time. Ten injured in explosion at Army base in Paju. 10 soldiers were injured when a practical shell exploded during a training at an Army base in Paju yesterday afternoon. The explosion took place at 3:24 p.m. yesterday during artillery drills without live ammunition. The practice shell that creates sound effects and smoke mimicking an explosion detonated without an apparent reason. No critical injuries were reported, but all 10 soldiers were treated for burns across their hands, arms, and legs. The Army said that the military police are investigating the exact cause of the accident. Privacy regulator launches probe over KT and LGU+. The Personal Information Protection Commission, PIPC, announced that it has launched a probe into KT and LGU+ over possible customer data leaks following a series of unauthorized mobile micropayments of KT users. The PIPC said that an American e-magazine specializing in computer security revealed hackings against the two major telecom companies. The authorities said that while the companies have not reported personal data leaks, they have launched a probe following requests from civil groups and reports from victims of the unauthorized payments. South Korean stocks reach record high. The country's stock market closed at an all-time high yesterday, led by market gains in the tech sector and optimism over the administration's possible tax policy change. The benchmark Korea Composite Price Index, KOSPI, ended the day at 3,314.53, surpassing its record from 4 years ago. Earlier in the day, the KOSPI briefly broke past 3,317.77, breaking a record high. Investor expectations are high over the possibility that President Lee Jae-myung may withdraw the proposal to lower the capital gains tax threshold for stock investments during a press conference later today, marking his 100th day in office. NATO allies weigh response after Russia's drone attacks on Poland. Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk said that the country is closer to military conflict than at any time since World War II, as NATO allies consider how to respond to Russia's drone incursion into Polish airspace. Russia's attacks on Ukraine spread onto Poland on Wednesday local time, marking the first time that Russia directly attacked NATO territory in its war against Ukraine. Tusk said that there had been at least 19 violations of the country's airspace overnight. Warsaw also said that NATO allies made concrete proposals to bolster the country's air defenses. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for Wagga Wagga. Haley's back.
Hello again.
Is our hair done? We're okay now?
It's very flowy. I'm liking my hair. We're good.
Okay, good hair day. Well, our first Wagga story, we're going to go back to, and we just talked about a little bit, the mysterious micropayments, hacking, and apparently the number of victims, that's grown?
Right. So previously, dozens of KT users from similar neighborhoods in southwestern Seoul, Gyeonggi, and Incheon reported someone else hacking into their phones and making these micropayments, 소액결제. But the mystery was as to how, because they did not use the same mobile carrier store, and we do have clues as to how now. But let's just look at the extent of damages, which has been snowballing. So according to Gyeonggi Nambu's Police Cyber Crimes Unit that's handling all of the cases, there have been, and also KT, there have been 276 victims of these micropayments, damages totaling over 170 million won. And that's based on the KT survey into this matter. The company company is contacting individual users whose accounts have been hacked.
Yes.
So cases have been snowballing in the last couple of days. All victims, again, are KT users. Some of them even using mobile virtual network operators or 알뜰폰 off of the KT network.
I see. So, what do we know about the possible route or route through which the hackers gain access?
Right. So a joint public-private investigation team got wind that the hacker or hackers install these illegal micro base towers, bases, 불법 초소형 기지국 to basically intercept traffic. And this is, by the way, the first time ever that such a methodology has been used. The Ministry of Science and ICT released a press release yesterday saying that they've identified these illegal microbases as one of the causes of the payments going out.
Oh, okay.
The authorities have also confirmed that the possibility that these illegal quote-unquote cell towers or bases could be connected to other locations. So it's contacted KT and requested that the telecom company take immediate action so they couldn't get further access into the network.
Right.
KT has followed suit. So these are what the industry calls femtocells. These are small, low-power cellular base stations, typically designed to use in homes or offices with like a 10-meter perimeter.
Oh, okay.
So KT actually commercialized this technology about 12 years ago, claimed to be the first in the industry or the world to do so for a wide-reaching LTE home femtocell. So the authorities are now looking into how the hackers use this technology to steal information and make monetary transactions.
Right.
And they're also sharing that information with the other two major telecom providers to take necessary action.
However, a big but. Police investigation has revealed that KT sat on this information for several days.
And this is the thing, because we've unfortunately had these hackings or personal information breaches happen with the major telecom providers. I don't know if these things happen. I'm not an expert, but it's how the companies have responded following suit that's also been controversial. So the police apparently contacted KT's corporate headquarters and regional offices on September 1st and then again on the 2nd. But all the company officials apparently said that KT is basically impenetrable. Basically, we cannot be breached. That's not possible. That's the response they got. And here's the thing. According to the victims, a bulk of the second wave of cases happened on September 3rd.
Oh.
So the timing is very conspicuous, and KT stopped these abnormal micropayments on September 5th, and that was the day after media reports were made on the 4th. So you see the progression of things that happened, and more importantly, things that did not happen, with victims saying, had KT taken action on the 1st or the 2nd, the second wave of payments may have been prevented.
Yes.
So Democratic Party's lawmaker Hwang Jung-ah of the Parliamentary Science Committee, who disclosed this information, called for transparent disclosure into the investigation, prevention measures, and compensation plans by KT, which, by the way, it said it's not going to charge the users. But still, it's a major headache.
Oh, of course, of course. Well, we're going to leave that story there for now. It's been almost 2 weeks since the Trump administration began imposing tariffs on small parcels, and this has caused major inconveniences for people here in South Korea.
Right. So previously, the U.S. government waived tariffs on parcels that were worth under $800.
Right.
But with the Trump administration withdrawing that policy, Korea Post said that all packages except for papers documents must be registered via Express Mail Service Premium, EMS Premium. So these are registered. So as a user, you go and register them and pay for them with the post office, but UPS actually carries them through.
Okay.
Here are several issues. EMS Premium does not accept food, medicine, alcoholic beverages, tobacco, and cosmetics that contain alcohol. Food seems to be the biggest issue with day-to-day users.
Okay.
Second, and perhaps more importantly, tariffs are expensive because they are tariffs, and people claim that they seem to be arbitrary. So basically, for example, and a lot of the complaints are pouring out from international students and parents who send things. So a parent said they sent their son or daughter a parcel worth roughly $300, and that was slapped on with a $103 tariff. So that's like 30%.
Wow.
But then she or he said another acquaintance they know sent a package of similar worth but received far less tariffs. So they're saying, well, what's the standard or the criteria? And parents are sending things like winter clothing as winter is coming.
Yes.
And everyday goods to their children.
Okay.
But with the tariffs and the packages being more expensive, they're resorting to, or they're telling their children to buy things in the U.S. But by the way, the prices in the U.S. have not been cheap recently. So according to the Universal Postal Union under the United Nations, this is a global phenomenon. Since the U.S. abolished the tariff exemption, the amount of packages sent to the U.S. decreased by 81%. And 88 postal authorities said they are suspending, or at least partially suspending, U.S.-bound postal services until this entire issue is resolved.
Indeed. So thanks for the latest on that. So coming up soon, I'm still not allowed to say who we're going to have on our special interview, but somebody whose voice was featured on K-pop Demon Hunters on deck. But before this, I do want to touch upon this debate surrounding hanbok because, right now, like hanbok and anything, related to like Korean traditional attire is like hot, right?
It is very hot. And for years, wearing hanbok and going to gyeongbokgung or any of the palaces, that's been a long-standing popular tourist activity, both for foreign visitors and Koreans. And it's basically a fixture at any point in time around Gwanghwamun, gyeongbokgung. You're gonna see people in hanbok, but then also hanbok in air quotes and italics ish attire. And that's the debate I want to talk about because these so-called fusion hanboks, some claim they ruin traditional and identity, a tradition and identity, versus other people saying, well, if that gets people like into hanbok itself, then, they're a cultural catalyst.
Okay.
So according to the Palace and Tomb Authorities under the Korea Heritage Service, KHS, last year, 1.72 million people came to gyeongbokgung in hanbok. That's about 4,700 every day. But if you wear a hanbok of any kind, top and bottom, entry to gyeongbokgung is free.
That's right.
By the way, not that expensive to begin with. That's a whole other issue.
Right.
Back in 2018, though, Jongno-gu district, which is home to Gyeongbokgung, Changdeokgung, and Changgyeonggung palaces, they actually looked into restricting entry of what they called excessively modified hanbok, like short skirts or like see-through togori, see-through tops. Just last year, then head of the KHS, Choi Eung-chun, said that the heritage authorities should lead the way in quote-unquote correctly establishing what hanbok and its traditions are.
So speaking of tradition, why don't people, rent out and wear the traditional garb?
Well, there are the authentic, traditional, the ones that you would see in 여인천하 or 허준, as our listeners are saying. Actually, it's more of choices and how they, photograph. What's the whole point of renting them out and wearing them? You want to take pictures. So those who do rent them out around the palaces say that the ones that have the metallic sparkly details are the most popular. And yes, those see-through sheer tops, the big poofy hoop skirts.
Yes.
Which, by the way, it's not... during the Joseon era, no one had hoop skirts. But they're popular. Again, so these are extremely popular ways for people to express, and experience Korean culture, although that Korean culture might be in air quotes. So actually now, though, the KHS's their position is that they're not really holding any separate discussions on limiting these modified hanboks, and that the traditional garb with any culture changes and they evolve with time. So they're just saying, we hope these experiences will lead to the globalization of hanbok.
Right. And, if it's going to, like you said, get people out there, enjoying Korean culture, especially in a sort of hanbok, I mean, it might be good.
Yeah.
But, why not? Okay.
I do see both sides of the argument.
I definitely do, too. So thank you for going over all the Wagley stories, and we'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right. And now it's time for your updated traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic update. First up, there is an accident to report on Luno Samsungdaedo from Shinho Bridge to Myeongho intersection. There's an accident at Myeongji Underpass intersection. Next up, it looks congested on Mandukdaedo from Manduk Tunnel number 2 to Manduk intersection. It's also backed up on Chunyeoldae right now from Daesung to Dongnae intersection. And also there's traffic on Gwanmundae from Mora overpass to Baegang Tunnel. Currently, it is 24 degrees Celsius under sunny skies here in Busan. It's going to go up to 29 today. Across the nation, it looks pretty clear. There is some cloud coverage across eastern Gangwon, Jeonnam, and Gyeongnam regions. And Jeju is expected to see some rain. This was your traffic and weather. All right, so because the special interview is coming up soon, right now after this is Soda Bot by the Saja Boys.
Hey, hey, hey. Don't want you, need you, yeah, I need you to fill me up. 마시고 마셔봐도 상해졌지 않아. Got a feeling that, oh yeah, you could be everything that I need. Taste so sweet, every sip makes me want more, yeah. Looking like that, cause you got it like that. Take a big bite, want another bite, yeah. 너의 모든 걸 나 원해. 너 말고 모두 뻔해. When you're in my arms, I hold you so tight. Can't let go, no, not tonight. 지금 당장 날 봐, 시간 없잖아. 넌 내 거야, 이미 알고 있잖아. Cause I need you to need me. I'm empty, feed me so refreshing. My little soda pop. You're all I can think of. Every drop I drink up. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. Cool me down, you're so hot. Pour me up, I won't stop. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. My little soda pop.
Make me wanna flip the top. 한번큼 make you hit the spot. Every little drip, the drop, fizz and pop. 소름 돋아, it's getting hot.
Just stop sipping when it's dripping out. It's done, I need a second round and pour a lot. And don't you stop till my soda pop fizzles out. 속에 그려왔던 너, 나 절대 놓칠 수 없어. 나 원했고 가 waited so long for a taste of soda. So the wait is over, baby. Coming through me, yo, just can't get enough. You're all I can think of. Every drop I drink up. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. Pull me down, you're so hot. Pull me up, I won't stop. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. You're my soda pop, gotta take every drop.
This is your special interview. Well, who hasn't heard about K-pop Demon Hunters at this point, right? It's been shattering records and shining a spotlight on the global power of K-pop. So the movie's mix of thrilling action and, the idol energy has really created a lot of excitement among fans all around the world. And today we're joined by someone right at the heart of it. Do you know all the characters' names, by the way? Romance is one of the Saja Boys, right? So if you have seen him on stage or even right before our special interview, you might have seen, I said, it's a hint, his pink heart-shaped hair and all that, and unforgettable stage presence. But, beyond the visuals, there is this unique charm and energy that fans just can't get enough of. So our guest today has brought him to life through his singing. That's right. So we're really excited to hear about the creative process that went into this. So please welcome Samuel Lee, who is a singer-songwriter and the singing voice of Romance from K-pop Demon Hunters. Hi, welcome to the program. Woo!
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes. So we've been looking forward to this ever since we found out that you might be on the show. So I do want to ask you to say hello to our listeners, our audience, and tell us about your character Romance from the Saja Boys.
Hello, my name's Sam. I'm the singing voice for Romance, and Yeah, Romance is as you might guess, a romantic member of the group. He literally shoots hearts at the fans. His hairstyle is the shape of a heart. And so, as you would imagine, the voice is also something that has to suit that. It has to be sultry. It has to be airy. And so that's the type of character I try to convey through my voice.
Yes. And I have to say you did it so well because even my little niece, they're like, oh, my favorite is, Romance and, in terms of the singing and all that. So in terms of K-pop Demon Hunters, I mean, it is a bona fide record breaker. It's a hit, but I do want to know, how did you first get involved in this project? And then what was your first impression when you heard about the project and you thought, what? I'm going to be the singing voice behind a character. And then when did you find out that he would have pink hair and that it would be shaped in a heart?
Well, I found that out through the actual recording process because when you're in the studio, they show you a rough sketch or an animation of the characters that you're trying to build a scene on. So, for example, you'll be recording Soda Pop, and they'll show you the scene where the Saja boys are being introduced in the town square. You know that scene. But it's a very rough version of that. So I saw this, somewhat pink figure, but you don't really know until the premiere and you can see the actual character. I was involved because apparently the project was all but finished, but they were missing some loose ends, and one of those was the last member of the Saja Boys was needed, and that was Romance. And they couldn't find a voice that really suited the character. But someone who was, in talks with them, our common point of contact, a hyung of mine, George Kim, a legend and pioneer in his own right, reached out to me randomly one day, and he said, are you interested in auditioning for this role for like a voice acting type of role, which I wasn't really too familiar with, but because I'm much more in the songwriting, the creative process and all that. But I just thought, why not? Why not try that out? And so I did audition, and the people that were making decisions apparently liked it enough. So, that, I got cast into that role. And as they say, that's just how it rolled out.
Wow. So I do want to ask you about, the first time you did see and hear the matching of the character Romance and your own voice. What was that like? I'm sure it might have been maybe a little surreal, just to imagine.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty surreal because you don't really see, you don't see anyone lip syncing to you in the first place, right? But then when you see an animated figure lip syncing to what you're singing, it's kind of a trip. Yeah, and we saw that in the premiere. Netflix held a premiere at their facilities in a grand theater, and we all watched that, and it was just, it was so fun. It was, it was fun to, tell my wife and my brother-in-law, oh yeah, that's me right there, and they're getting excited about it, and it was a great time.
Yes. Well, we know for especially many people who have watched this probably more than once that K-pop Demon Hunters is really built on deeply Korean elements, yet it's become a movie, a film kind of loved by audiences all around the world. And I don't think it's an understatement to say people were probably surprised, some even shocked at how big this actually became. And, people who even probably didn't know that much about K-pop or Korean culture really got excited because of this project. So why do you think something so distinctly, many of the elements of what was featured in the film, so distinctly Korean resonated so strongly and still continue to do so with global audiences?
Yeah, there's no doubt that the film is unabashedly Korean in its, in the way that it portrays its culture and it is based on K-pop culture as well. And so it's very, very distinctly Korean, but at the heart of it, it is commonly the human experience, right? It's about overcoming self-doubt, accepting various aspects of yourself, overcoming evil, of course, with a band of people with like-minded spirits. So that type of thing, I feel like resonates globally. And if you couple that with undeniably catchy songs and, amazing animation and a storyline to boot, I feel like that is just a recipe for undeniability, So I think that's kind of why it kind of took over. But everyone knew it was going to do well. It's such a good movie, but, I think everyone was pleasantly surprised at how amazingly well it did. But yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
Yes. And I do want to ask, you maybe on a slightly, deeper personal level, how did it affect you in terms of, as a Korean American, did this project help you or shape you in any way, to look back on even your sense of identity, as there are ethnically, Korean people all around the world. And of course, as you just said, this film isn't just about being Korean. However, has it touched you in any other way?
Just strictly speaking from a Korean American experience, you're saying?
Yes.
I would say I was always in the know that Koreans and Korean Americans are pretty dope, but I'm glad that they're being represented in a way where, a Korean American can tell a great story just as much as any other nationality. Nobody is better at anyone at telling a great story, coming up with a creative piece of art, and I'm super proud that Korean Americans kind of went forward and showed the best of themselves in a narrative light, in an animation light, representing K-pop, all the best parts of the culture. I'm glad that the Korean Americans spearheaded that.
And I do want to ask you, on a lighter note, because obviously you're the singing voice behind Romance, but there are other Saja Boy members, Chino, etc., and even the Hendrix members. So if you, looking back now, could try singing any of the other parts of any of the characters' voices, like aside from Romance, is there one particular one where you're like, hey, I wouldn't mind trying that character's voice, singing voice. Which one would you choose?
I think singing would still be fun. Maybe singing in a different type of style. Maybe more belty. Chino's parts, sound really fun. But if I were to just have straight up fun with it,
Yes.
I think Baby Saja's rap parts would just be the most fun to do because, I just feel like it's a totally different aspect of mastering a technique than singing. So I feel like something different would always be a little more fun. So
very
Baby
creative,
Saja's
right?
parts.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, for our final question for you, it's more of a request. If you have any last words, because your fans, not just of you personally, of the project itself, but it really has grown into the project itself like a behemoth at this point. So any last words, anything that you would like to convey to those listening and watching right now?
There really isn't anything else I could say besides thank you. It's like, I'm sure everyone that's a part of the project receives this, but we're always being flooded with messages from, friends of the past, friends that are current, because all their children are loving the movie so much. They're listening to the songs all the time.
Yes.
And so there's, just a constant influx of words of encouragement all the time. Just saying how much the movie has impacted their families in such a positive light. And I think that's something that the world needs today, just a lot of positivity. And, because I'm able to be a part of it, I just have to say thank you so much and continue watching it, continue listening to the songs, and
Yes.
just look forward to the next.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Many people are actually asking about, the next one. But anyhow, I don't want to put you on the spot. So thank you so much for joining us today for this special interview. And of course, we wish you nothing but the best. Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, this was our special interview today with Sam. He calls himself Sam, but we're going to call him Samuel Lee. And the singer-songwriter and the singing voice behind Romance, one of the most popular characters from K-pop Demon Hunters. And I do want to give a tiny shout out to our Kim Jo-an. He made this all possible, connecting us and whatnot. So thank you for that. We do appreciate it. All right, without further ado, let's get to our next song. This is Your Idol by the Saja Boys.
Keeping you in check, keeping you obsessed. Play me on repeat, 끝없이 in your head. Anytime it hurts, play another verse. I can be a sanctuary. No, I'm the only one right now. Yeah, you gave me your heart, now I'm here for your soul. I'm the only one who will love your sins. Feel the way my voice gets underneath your skin. Listen, cause I'm preaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Give me your desire. I can be the star you rely on. Never hold a chair, you can't look away. Don't you know I'm here to save you? I'll be running wild. Yeah, I'm all you need, I'ma be your idol.
Reaching on the fame, can't stop watch I'm your idol. Thank you for the pain, cause it got me going viral. Yeah, 나지 않는 fever, making you a believer. 나를 위해 넌 존재하는 idol.
Don't let it show, keep it all inside. The pain and the shame, keep it out of sight. Your obsession feels like an addiction. 이 순간, give me all your attention. You know I'm the only one who will love your sins. Feel the way my voice gets underneath your skin. Listen, cause I'm preaching to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Give me your desire. I can be the star you rely on. Never hold a chair, you can't look away. Don't you know I'm here to save you? I'll be running wild. Yeah, I'm all you need, I'ma be your idol. Be your idol. Living in your mind now. Too late, cause you're mine now. I will make you pay when you're all a part of me. Preach it to the choir. Can I get the mic a little higher? Give me your desire. Watch me set your world on fire. Never hold a chair, you can't look away. No one is coming to save you. Now we're running wild. You're down on your knees, I'ma be your idol.
Welcome back, everybody. So, yes, people commenting, of course, on the special interview. I guess Tommy needs some like K-pop idol lessons. But Leslie is saying, yeah, he needs to get lessons from Benny. So there's a lot of conversing going on. And people, you were very much in tune also to what Dr. Ryu was saying earlier. And I do want to also give a shout out to Dr. Ryu because he took, his personal time to go into our chat room on NoTube and answer most, if not all, of your questions about vitamin D. And he really didn't have to do that. So thank you for doing that if you're still listening, Dr. Ryu. I do appreciate it. And of course, to you, the listeners as well, we've been talking about your favorite back in the day K-drama, K-film. So some of the common ones that have popped up on the board, I was serious when I said Coffee Prince 1호점, is that what the full name of it? That's when I first saw 공유, and I was just like, who is this? And it was back in the day. It's an older drama, but I think it still resonates. I saw a rerun of it, and it still kind of was like, wow, that was a good piece of work. And I was kind of like, is there going to be a season 2? But apparently, 요즘은 없었고요. It ended with that. And a lot of people have been mentioning, Leslie says her very first K-drama was Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. And then she also mentions Startup. So she's very much a fan of Kim Sun-ho. And yes, those are two good ones as well. Some of the older ones that are popping up on the board. Some people are mentioning All About Eve. Some people mention Winter Sonata. Is it 겨울 연가? Yes. So that one. And of course, the Boys Over Flowers, 꽃보다 남자. That's also very popular as well. So thank you so much for chiming in with all your responses to our text topic. And now we're going to get to Vasana and Buzz Breakdown. It's time for Vasana. He's here.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
How's your semester been so far?
Just started.
Yes.
So, yes, I've got my classes sorted. Everything's done.
Good.
Everything's
good.
settling down.
Yes.
K-dramas, you were saying old?
Yes. Well, like, that really made you like think like, oh, this is really good. I could start watching K-dramas or even K-films.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Well, when you said old, I was laughing because I had All In. Do you remember that one?
All In. Is that the one with Kim Byung-hun, right? No? Lee Byung-hun, sorry.
Lee Byung-hun.
I always get one character. Lee Byung-hun and Song Hye-kyo.
Yes.
Yes.
Very, very old one. Also, 천국의 계단. Yeah, that was a very sad one.
Yes.
Back in the day, I think in the 90s.
Talking about old.
Old.
No, some people are mentioning the really, really old ones. Or like Umberto says, like Descendants of the Sun.
Oh, yes.
With the
that was a
Song.
good one. 왕관의 식구들, that was another one. That was a cool one.
Oh, yeah.
But movies, 친구 was one I liked, obviously.
Did you okay, so when I first watched 친구, like I watched it with my dad, and because of the heavy Busan dialect,
yes,
some of it was kind of difficult for me to understand, so I had to watch it twice.
I had
with
the
my dad,
subtitles, so no problem.
I didn't have the subtitles.
Yeah. And also 결혼은 미친 짓이다. That was one of my favorites. Still is one of my favorites.
Are you just saying it because you want to say it? It's not the title.
No, it's a great movie. And so
did you
many...
watch Tommy Says 모래시계? Did you watch that one? The Sands of Time?
What is that? Days of Our Lives?
No, not that one. But anyways, that's yes, definitely a good one.
Yes, I did
as well.
watch that one.
Oh, you
Yes,
did?
I
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we got to dive into Buzz Breakdown. What do you have for us?
Today I was reading through some words because I try and find new words, and I came across this word Confugenics.
Huh?
And I thought, is this confusing, whatever? So I read up on it, and Confugenics, another portmanteau word, or portmanteau, depending on where you went to school.
Yes.
Mashup, as we say it. It's a combination of Confucian or Confucius plus
and eugenics?
Eugenics.
So you have Confugenics.
Correct. So, as we know, Confucius is an old philosophy from China, shaped in the East, and a lot of countries, like our country. Our country?
Oh.
I am Korean now.
You are part Korean.
So China, Korea, Japan, and a lot of other ones based on Confucian ideas, which is academic success.
Yes.
Filial piety, which is obeying your elders, your parents.
I mean, that is
teachers.
like so ingrained in us.
Yes.
It is. Yes.
And family honor. So, in other words, if your child does well in school, like your child did, the whole family feels proud. But if the child fails,
no,
everyone feels ashamed.
That's like so old school, though. I don't know. That's not how like my family works. But when I was growing up, it was definitely. I think I shared this story. Like my mom was like, "What's that little mark next to the A?" And I was like,
yes.
"It's called an A minus."
A minus, yes. We spoke about that.
She was like, "How could you?"
Yeah,
but I'm not like that.
The lovely shame culture.
Yes.
So in Korea we have the sunung, and in China they have the gaokao.
Yes.
So all those entrance exams for university. So this created the image of the tiger parent. Mother or father who's very strict, demanding, pushing their child to be academically successful.
That's like the epitome of my mom.
Yes.
Growing up, it was like, it was no TV, like literally no TV.
No TV?
2 hours during the weekend. That was it in my childhood.
Wow.
I was, I went to bed at 8:30.
Yeah.
That was my life.
I had no TV, but it was for different reasons. Get out of the house.
Yes.
So let's move on to the second part of the word, which is eugenics.
Eugenics.
So it's the idea of improving the human race, improving humans by selecting good traits and removing bad ones.
This is so highly controversial.
Very controversial.
Yes.
So obviously unethical in some circles. And past governments, which I'm sure people know about, they often try to control, and they're still trying to control these days. So with modern science, especially with genetic technologies, we can now choose the different traits that children could have. For example, with IVF embryo screening. Parents can allow are allowed to select embryos with fewer genetic diseases, etc., etc.
I don't know. Okay, so
Yep.
I do understand for some parents if there is some sort of it's in their DNA, like one side, carries
Yes.
some sort of genetic
disease.
illness or
Yep.
fatal disease.
Yep.
That I am I get it. I understand,
Yeah.
right? But when you take it too far where you are literally like designing your baby, like they
Yes.
call them designer babies,
Correct.
where you're picking certain traits just like you're going shopping.
Yes, definitely.
That's where, it could be problematic.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this brings up many, many problems. And firstly, the cost.
Yes.
So if, obviously, this is not going to be free.
Oh, yeah.
So only people who can afford to do it will do it.
Yes.
So it's very expensive. So that means as the saying goes, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
That's right.
Secondly, the demographic crisis, which we're also already suffering already. So we already have low birth rates.
Yes.
So all over the world, not just in Korea, Japan, and China, shrinking populations. And then the third one,
Yes.
if everybody is perfect, then there's a social imbalance.
If everybody's perfect.
Yes.
I mean,
Then where are the bad people?
not bad, but where's the variety?
Variety, correct.
Not bad. No one's bad. It's just.
I mean, bad with in
Yes,
inverted
I
commas,
understand.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, it's like, where's the variety? I think we should celebrate our differences.
Yes.
You are uniquely Vasana. I am
Yes.
uniquely Kat. Thank goodness we're not the same.
Thank goodness.
Yes, thank goodness.
Thank
we're
goodness
not the
there's not
same.
one more Vasana out there.
No, really, but we joke about it, but it's like, do we really want the exact same version? Like, are we all going to be like Yeji PD님? As smart and wonderful as she
And
is.
beautiful.
Yes,
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
But, I mean, do we want to all just be just like her?
Yes. No. Yes. Oh, sorry. No. Yes. No.
She's like blinking at you like,
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to go. Yeah. No.
I swear, we need to get a cam and a mic on her. It's like, yes.
So yes, so this leads to what scientists call the Red Queen effect. That's the social imbalance. Comes from the Alice in Wonderland Red Queen, who
Red
says
Queen.
it takes all the running you can do to stay in the same place.
Say
So
that again.
It takes
all the
running
running
you can do to stay in the same place. So it doesn't matter what you do.
Yes.
You are still in the same position.
Right.
So if everybody is exactly the same, no one has an advantage. No one has a disadvantage either. But everybody is the same. So imagine a society full of PhDs, but no one to fix the car or repair your house or unblock the drain.
Yes.
So yes, that leads us to another English idiom, a double-edged sword.
Okay. So explain, what is a double-edged sword?
So it's a sword that cuts both ways. It has two negative things. So it might create brilliant students, brilliant people, but damages the balance of society.
Right.
So on the one hand, positive, on the other hand, negative.
I mean, if you're
So
like
zero gain.
if it's like, cloning or like, everybody is brilliant and has an IQ of like 200,
Yeah.
then, everybody wants to be a scientist. And what about, the other industries?
Yes.
The
arts.
That's just one extreme example.
Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no to that.
Yes.
No to that.
As you
Yes.
said, variety. Variety is the spice of life.
Ooh, I like.
Yes.
Yes. You should trademark that.
I think somebody already has.
Okay, so what else do you want to say, or do you want to go over some
let's
of
go
the
over
terminology?
Let's go over the words that we have, because you have had quite a few.
Okay, let's go slowly because
Yes.
we're reviewing right now.
And I also missed a couple, so I'll go through them. So
Sure,
the first
sure.
one, tiger parenting. So very strict and demanding parenting style.
Nowadays, we also call them helicopter parents.
Helicopter
Because they
parents.
hover.
They hover.
They hover and they're just like always like, there
Yeah.
watching what their kids do. And sometimes, I don't know, I'm not into the hovering because I feel like if you don't let your kids make mistakes,
Yeah.
they'll never learn
Yeah.
from those mistakes. And, once they're outside of your little bubble,
Yeah.
That you call home and like, your environment, then how will they survive? Right?
Exactly. That's one thing I like about my son.
Yes.
Is that when I said, do you want when I asked him, do you want some help with your homework? He said, no, I want to do it myself.
Okay,
I was
that's
like,
good.
Wow. Okay.
So what other words did we go over?
The one I missed, a couple of ones that I missed was rat race. That's the endless, stressful competition.
We call life.
We call life.
Yes.
Basically real life. Rat race.
Yes.
Economies of scale was another one I missed. It's cost savings when production increases.
Okay.
So when more things are being produced, then you save money.
Yes.
And the other things, Red Queen effect, just trying to be better, but you're staying in the same place, running faster. Double-edged sword, as I kind of mentioned before, zero sum. So you have plus and minus, and when you add them both together, zero.
All right, so we're going to have to call it a wrap for today.
Sure.
But we'll definitely check in with you next week. So thank you, Vasana.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to listen to a spot about what's happening on the 27th, and I'll be back in a moment. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan. What does it mean to live in an English-friendly Busan? And what role does English play as Busan rises as a global hub city?
올 가을 여러분에게 영어하기 편한 도시 부산으로 가는 길을 안내합니다.
This fall, on September 27th, Saturday at 3 p.m., join us for a special outdoor stage event at F1963 Open Square, featuring a thought-provoking panel with a professional English educator, Lee Bo-young, British broadcaster Peter Bint, K-pop idol Aaron, and me, Catherine. Plus, enjoy a special live performance by Busan's English-friendly city ambassador Kim Jo-han and singer-songwriter 커피소년. BEFM Morning Wave in Busan Fall Outdoor Special Stage. Fall for English-friendly Busan.
9월 27일 토요일 오후 3시 F1963 오픈스퀘어에서 여러분을 기다립니다.
And in case you're still listening, Tommy, we played that spot just for you because you were wondering who's going to be the host. Moi, Catherine, the host of Morning Wave in Busan. So just to let you know one last time that on the 27th of September, 3 p.m. at F1963 1963 or 1963 right here in Busan, hosted by who? Moi, Kat. It's on Jess, but of course we have an amazing lineup and panelists there. So we have 영어 교육자. I mean, she's like really famous here in Korea. We have Lee Bo-young. She's going to be there. And you probably recognize this name as well. He's all over, the media as well. Peter Bint. And then we have singers, singer Aaron, he will be there on the panel of New East. Also, we have our very own 안 교수님, Andrew Miller, Professor Andrew. He will be there as well. And then for the special guest musicians, we have 커피소년 and none other, our very own Kim Jo-han. So they'll all be there. So join us. Make a day of it. Let's get together and enjoy this Fall for English-friendly Busan. That's coming up once again on the 27th, and you'll hear me repeat this until we get there. All right. Thank you so much for all the amazing messages of support, and I fully understand you really enjoyed our special interview. A last shout out to Dr. Ryu as well for answering all of your questions. We're going to call it a day here on Morning Wave in Busan. Our show is produced by Cho Ye-ji. We have our assistant producer, Kang Hee-jin. We have our writers, Haley Seo, Sue Kim. I'm your host, Kat. I'll be back tomorrow. Final song. This is by 커피소년, who will be there that day. 장가 갈 수 있을까 is the title of the song. Enjoy. Have a great Thursday. Bye, everybody.
장가 갈 수 있을까? 장가 갈 수 있을까? 올해도 가는데 장가갈 수 있을까? 누굴 만난다는 건 어려운 일이야. 남들처럼 그렇게 장가갈 수 있을까? 내 친구들 하나 둘씩 떠나가고 속인 사랑도 잘 모르겠고 여자 맘은 진짜 모르겠다. 장가갈 수 있을까? 장가갈 수 있을까? 동전 잔고 없는데 장가갈 수 있을까? 누굴 만난다는 건 어려운 일이야. 남들처럼 그렇게 장가갈 수 있을까?
시집갈 수 있을까? 시집갈 수 있을까? 올해도 가는데 시집갈 수 있을까? 누굴 만난다는 건 어려운 일이야. 남들처럼 그렇게 시집갈 수 있을까? 이러다 평생 혼자 사는 거 아냐? 다시 사랑이란 건 할 수 있을까? 소녀 같던 내 순수함 어디 갔나? 여자 맘은 나도 내가 모르겠다.
장가갈 수 있을까?
시집갈 수 있을까?
장가갈 수 있을까?
시집갈 수 있을까?
올해도 가는데
올해도 가는데
장가갈 수 있을까?
시집갈 수 있을까?
누굴 만난다는 건
누굴 만난다는 건
어려운 일이야.
어려운 일이야.
남들처럼 그렇게
남들처럼 그렇게
장가갈 수 있을까?